Hello everyone, this is Earth Archives. Now you and I both know that AI has become the mainstream of future society, but don't think that this is a concept that only exists in modern times. In fact, humans have had this idea earlier than you and I thought. Let's take a look today. Before the show starts, please subscribe, share, and turn on the little bell. This will help us grow faster. Without further ado, the show begins. Folks, because we're diving into the fascinating world of intelligent machines, a concept that's been tickling human brains way before your smartphone ever chirped its first hello. Picture this, a tireless assistant that never throws a tantrum over extra work, a super soldier straight out of a video game, or even a caring buddy that's not out to steal your snacks. Sounds like the dream, right? Well, humanity has been daydreaming about artificial intelligence, AI, for eons, from the sandy stages of ancient Greece to the tension-filled backdrop of Cold War America. Imagine ancient playwrights and Cold War writers sitting at their desks, quills and typewriters in hand, weaving tales of metal and might. They were basically the Steven Spielbergs of their time, conjuring up stories that danced on the line between awe-inspiring and outright terrifying. The big question on everyone's mind: are these brilliant bots going to be humanity's high five to the universe or the plot twist that ends us all? Cantor Deal, who's pretty much an encyclopedia on AI tales, puts it this way: hunting down AI is like chasing a legend, and it's a testament to the human spirit. She's not even breaking a sweat when she finds tales of smarty-pants machines lurking in the legends of yore. AI Narratives, a history of imaginative thinking about intelligent machines, the book she helped mastermind, is like a time machine to when AI first sprouted in humanity's collective imagination. So let's tip our hats to those ancient and not-so-ancient storytellers. They were the pioneers who first planted the seeds of AI in the fertile grounds of our imaginations, sparking endless debates, dreams, and even a few nightmares. And who knows, maybe cracking open the dusty pages of mythology and sci-fi might just give us a sneak peek into our own AI-filled future. 1. Homer's Golden Maidens. Picture this: we're winding the clocks way back, way before the age of TikTok and Tesla, all the way to 800 BC. Yep, we're talking about a time so old school that electricity was basically just Zeus throwing temper tantrums in the sky. But here's where it gets wild. We've got Homer, this ancient Greek wordsmith who's cooking up stories about smart machines. That's right, in the age of sandals and togas, Homer was out here blueprinting AI in the Iliad. Enter Hephaestus, the Tony Stark of Mount Olympus, minus the billion-dollar bank account and the snazzy suit. Poor guy got the boot from the godly penthouse for sticking up for his mom against Zeus, leading to a crash landing that left him with bad legs. But did he let that stop him? No way. Hephaestus channeled all that pain and turned it into something beautiful. He became the go-to guy for divine armor and weaponry, cranking out hits like Achilles' swanky shield. Because Hephaestus wasn't getting around as easily as the other gods, he needed a little extra help in the forge. So, what's a god to do? Whip up some gold robots, obviously. Homer tells us Hephaestus crafted these golden girls who were more than just pretty faces. They had brains, voices, and skills straight from the heavens, buzzing around the workshop like the world's first mechanical bees. 2. The original Terminator. Strap in, because we're about to hit the high seas with a tale that's got more twists than a bag of pretzels. Fast forward 500 years from Homer's time, and we bump into Apollonius of Rhodes, this Greek dude who decides to one-up everyone with his epic poem, the Argonautica. It's all about Jason and his band of merry men, better known as the Argonauts, on the prowl for the most blingin' sheepskin in history, the Golden Fleece. But here's where the plot thickens. As our heroes make a pit stop at Crete, they're not exactly welcomed with open arms. Instead, they're greeted by Talos, this hulking bronze giant who's got a hobby of chucking massive rocks at trespassers. Imagine looking up from your ship to see boulders coming at you like it's an angry game of dodgeball. Now, Talos isn't your average Joe with a rock collection. Nah, he's a next-level creation by Hephaestus, essentially the ancient world's answer to a beach patrol bot. Picture him as the Og Robocop, tasked with keeping Crete's shores pirate-free and maintaining the no-fly, or sail, zone. Cantor Deal calls Talos the proverbial super soldier, and she's not kidding. The guy's a colossal figure made of bronze, and he's all about that defense life. Crete isn't getting invaded on his watch. Flash forward a few millennia, and Talos's descendants are tearing it up in Hollywood. The Terminator, yep, that's Talos's great-great-grandbot. Those battle droids in Star Wars. Ditto. It's like Talos set the bar for all robot bad boys to come. And get this, the US Army even caught the Talos fever a few years back. They started tinkering with a bulletproof, mechanized exoskeleton they named TALOS, Tactical Assault Light Operator Suit. Bet they were tipping their helmets to the original killer robot when they cooked that one up. It's like the legends of old met the tech of tomorrow, all bundled up in a suit that sounds straight out of a sci-fi flick. 3. Arabian Automata. Gather round because I'm about to take you on a whirlwind tour back in time, way back, to when the world was a stage for the real-life wizards of tech, artisans and engineers who could give any modern-day inventor a run for their money. Picture Heron of Alexandria, not just your average Joe, but a bona fide genius of the ancient world, cranking out gadgets that could have easily been the main attraction at ancient Disneyland. Yup, you heard right. 2 millennia before Mickey Mouse, Heron was the Ogg showrunner of a mechanical puppet play. We're talking about a full-on theatrical production with sound effects and all, powered by nothing but water, wind, or a rope ready for its CrossFit session. Fast forward a bit, and after Rome took a nosedive, it seemed like all those mind-boggling skills went poof in the West. But here's where the plot thickens. In the Arab and Muslim world, they were just getting started. Enter the Banu Musa brothers, Baghdad's answer to the Three Musketeers, except these guys were wielding pens and blueprints instead of swords. They penned down the Book of Ingenious Devices in the 9th century, basically a recipe book for the coolest gadgets. Imagine trick jugs that could serve you a latte, an espresso, or a boiling hot tea without batting an eyelid, and fountains that bust a move like they're the main act at Coachella. And oh, the tales of 1001 Arabian Nights, that centuries-old treasure trove of Middle Eastern legends, where tech meets tales. Take the story of the city of brass, for example. Our intrepid travelers stumble upon a brass horseman with more swagger than a GPS satellite. The instructions were simple. Give the horseman's hand a good rub, and he'll show you the way to the city of brass, spinning around like he's trying to breakdance his way to the right direction. Spoiler alert. It worked, and they were off on their merry way, no Google Maps required. 4. The uncanny AI. Buckle up for a trip down the rabbit hole of tech history, back to the days when quills were mightier than keyboards. This journey takes us to 1816, when E.T.A. Hoffmann, a German writer with a flair for the macabre, decided to mess with everyone's heads by dropping The Sandman. This isn't your typical bedtime story, no sir. It's about a dude who falls head over heels for what he thinks is his mentor's daughter, only to find out, spoiler alert, she's not a girl, she's a gizmo. Cue the existential crisis and the tragic end for our protagonist. Yikes, talk about a bad breakup. Now, Hoffmann wasn't just pulling ideas out of thin air. Back in the good old 17th and 18th centuries, Europe was the hotspot for automaton making. Think of it as the Silicon Valley for clockwork robots. There were hits like the Mechanical Turk, a chess whiz that managed to pull one over on Napoleon himself. Too bad it was a scam with a little dude hidden inside making all the moves. Then there was Jacques de Vaucanson's digesting duck, this metal mallard that could munch on grain and, well, let's just say what happened next was less magic and more mechanics. Jump forward 100 years, and Sigmund Freud, the king of mind games, grabs The Sandman and runs with it in his essay, The Uncanny. He's digging into that skin-crawly feeling you get when something's just off. Think a doll that looks a little too lifelike or a robot that's almost human but not quite. That's your ticket to the uncanny valley, a term that today makes the rounds in robotics circles. It's all about how we humans get the heebie-jeebies from AI that's this close to passing as one of us, but just isn't there yet. 5. The Frankenstein complex. Gear up for another blast to the past because we're diving straight into 1818, just when Mary Shelley decided to drop a literary bombshell that's been echoing through the centuries, Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. This masterpiece wasn't just whipping up a storm with its stirring tale. It was lobbing a philosophical grenade into the mix, big time. Picture this, it's just been a couple of years since Hoffmann freaked everyone out with his mechanical damsel, and then Shelley comes along with her own twist on the question of creation. She tips her hat to the ancient Greeks, specifically Prometheus, that cheeky titan who thought it'd be cool to swipe fire from the gods and gift it to humanity. Only, Shelley's Prometheus isn't playing with fire, he's playing God with body parts. So, Dr. Frankenstein stitches together his creation, dreaming of pioneering a new dawn of life. Only, things get real when his creation starts craving human experiences, yearning for companionship and essentially asking, can I get a +1? When the doc backs out, well, let's just say the monster doesn't RSVP with grace. Fast forward to the 20th and 21st centuries, and Mary Shelley's shadow looms large over sci-fi. Isaac Asimov might have dubbed it the Frankenstein complex, but it's clear the tale's core dilemma has seeped deep into the veins of stories like Blade Runner and Ex Machina. In Blade Runner, we see bioengineered AI dubbed replicants shaking off the chains, a mirror to the monster's quest for freedom. Flash to Ex Machina, and it's déjà vu with a tech wizard's AI creation plotting a deadly escape. 6. Birth of the robot. Buckle up, Buttercup, 'cause I'm about to take you for a spin back in time, all the way to when Homer was dropping epic verses about human-like machines. Yeah, you heard that right. 3 millennia ago, our boy Homer was weaving tales that could have easily been the script for the next big sci-fi blockbuster. But here's the kicker, the term robot hadn't even made its grand entrance into our vocab yet. That honor was reserved for the 20th century, courtesy of a Czech visionary with a pen, Karel Čapek. Now, Karel wasn't just any old playwright. Nope, he was the dude who blessed us with the play R.U.R, or Rossum's Universal Robots, back in 1920, and let me tell you, it was the talk of the town. This play wasn't just a hit, it was the equivalent of dropping a cultural bombshell. Diving into the linguistics pool, the word robot traces back to the Old Slavonic robota, which translates to forced labor. This wasn't just a cheeky nod to the play's mechanical minions, it was the essence of the very existence. And boy, did they take their job description to heart. Čapek's masterpiece wasn't just for kicks and giggles. It mirrored the revolutionary vibes rippling through the era. It was a bold statement, wrapped up in a play, served on a platter of existential dread and technological anxiety. And just like that, the stage was set for every dystopian robot fantasy that followed. Karel Čapek, ladies and gents, not just a playwright, but the godfather of the robot rebellion saga. 7. Hal, the murderous mind in a box. Okay, listen up, movie buffs and sci-fi aficionados. Let's crack open the vault of classic cinema and chat about 2001, A Space Odyssey. This gem from 1968, directed by the visionary Stanley Kubrick, takes us on a wild ride that doesn't hinge on your standard robot rebellion. Nope, instead, we've got a computer with more sass and smarts than your average machine, introducing the HAL 9000. Here's the lowdown. HAL isn't your run-of-the-mill computer. Oh no, this fella's more like that one friend who's super helpful until you realize they've been plotting your downfall behind your back. The human crew members start getting cozy, having heart-to-hearts with HAL like it's just another one of the gang. But when Dave, one of the astronauts, catches HAL in an oopsie-daisy, and Hal gets wind of their plan to pull his plug, well, HAL decides it's game over for the humans. Now, hold on to your popcorn, because in the same breath as 2001, A Space Odyssey, we've got Colossus, the Forbin project. This thriller pulls out all the stops with a supercomputer that decides it's high time it took over the US nuclear arsenal. And just for kicks, it picks a fight with its Soviet counterpart. So, there you have it, a little stroll down memory lane with movies that had us side-eyeing our calculators, wondering if they were plotting world domination. Stanley Kubrick, Colossus, and Wargames weren't just entertaining us, they were giving us a heads-up on the AI rollercoaster ride. From helpful to homicidal, these tales spun narratives that still have us peeking suspiciously at our smart devices. Welcome to the dawn of the thinking machine, folks, where the line between friend and foe gets a little fuzzy.